reread it, it was like the dynamics of awakening are available within our own nature. And it's been for so long, most of us have been developing ourselves in practical and conscious ways, and through education, often through personal development, spiritual development. And it's been beautiful for me in this work and in coming more into my own home is to discover that's all that's going on in life, is the unfoldment of wholeness, or the unfoldment of life, creation, and in our own life, our own nature. And it doesn't start when you join this work or something. It's been unfolding this. And in this work, where we tend to find that people that want to be connecting with this are people whose lives have made a shift, either dramatically or subtly, into what was there before by working in the same way. There's more that's wanted. And we don't, in Waking Down, know how to cause that to happen. We're really meeting people who feel that and want to go in a bit of a different direction. Not a bit of a different direction. It becomes more and more, I think, a dramatic different direction. But initially, that's how it starts. And so the awakening in embodied wholeness is what is going on in life at this time for those of us who are kind of attuned to that. And there are punctuation points that can kind of give us a sense of the shifts that can go on in this. And we talk in this work about conscious awakening, the embodied feeling witness conscious awakening, and the second birth awakening. As kind of points, not that they all happen in order or that we recognize all of them, but just give us some way of discriminating the awakening process. And many of us have found shifts before those points that were important to us in various ways, and after that, shifts. Certainly the realization of the heart awakened nature to fully be shifted often needs second birth to be kind of really fully recognized. And many more awakenings of what is ever personal in our nature. And these are the ongoing unfoldments of life. You know, it's quite an awakening to go from, puberty into adolescence. There's a whole dimension of awakening to awakening shift into something more and different, quite different. So in this work, we have a chance then to cooperate with the impulses that have come about within us. And I kind of noted for this angle of this workshop, just that there are key components that support that which is vulnerably ready to occur within us when we're attracted to being involved in this work. And I had said activation, awareness, and guidance. And that is what we can offer each other in these kind of meetings and this kind of work. Activation has to do with that field of transmission and resonance. So activation is both self and other involved. The shift or activation that opened us to interest in the style of awakening is crucial. And one of the kind of the so-called magical factors in this work seems to be a transmittive effect that is as important or more important than whatever else we're doing in this work. So activation, to what extent are we aware of that process? In other words, it's not something we're doing, it's something we're opening to. And so it's coming into this field and tuning into it. So activation involves our own choice to be present with the activation. And we do that in mutuality groups. We do that with working with a teacher, and in a deepening kind of love-trust connection, the activation comes alive, and it's not being done to us, it's us tuning into it. And the more vulnerably we can connect with another who's willing to be vulnerably connected, the more that activation comes alive. And we can do it with beloved others, and we can do it particularly with those that are able to meet us without needing to change us. And that's one of the things that we've found in this work that we do. In the area of awareness, it's really what's happening. It's really the process we're involved with. When we talk about green lighting, holding the core wound, being present with others, it's actually all primarily awareness. But in the field of awareness, normally we think of this, seeing. But awareness in a whole being embodiment, unfoldment, is the whole range of dimensions that bring us into awareness of whatever. And awareness then, in terms of the language of recognition yoga, is seeing it, feeling, living. Now, seeing is obvious, we're aware of something. Feeling it is another level of awareness we're familiar with. But living something isn't what we want to do if it's something we don't like, something we don't like about ourselves. We want to see it, maybe feel it, but then it's enough. We want to fix it. But we don't do that either. We live it. Well, living it means there's a certain surrender to being that. And when we start to live it, we get to discover us as that. And we kind of surrender further, we're like that. We're being it. And we're talking about it along the way. Talking, it becomes a profound deepening of awareness process. So when we're sharing, sometimes there's some practicality about it. We get feedback of some nature, but it's fundamentally about deepening our knowing awareness into. We're becoming aware into and as. And so we're awakening the final vestiges of that which we don't like through this awareness. And only when we do that are we truly free from its binds. That's the transcending it in place. Only then is it part of us instead of dominating us. And when it's part of us, sometimes it's no longer a value and it just bubbles away. And sometimes it's part of a wound or an injury or just a style of individuality that is no longer dominating us. We're more than that. Not because it's bad or shouldn't be there, but just we're more than that. We include that. And so that is the process of awareness that's going on in this work. And we can point to it as teachers because we've been through it ourselves and have lived it and are living it more consciously right through the whole range. So it's helpful, not because there's a betterment, there's a higher level of development. It's just that we've had that experience and we can point to it because your being has its own capacity to tune into that, bringing awareness into. And that won't make sense from a more traditional hypermasculine or first life kind of perspective, because that evolutionary push has been towards overcoming those. And it sounds to us now in this work sometimes not as a good thing. Well, it totally was a good thing. It was evolution. It's what brought humanity's individualization, self-awareness, and conscious awareness into the place where it can now shift into falling into the ground that was pushing us there, and do it with the consciousness that's been gained through that whole process. So we're not denying it, we're now benefiting from it. And so then the guidance piece is that there are ways to tap into the transmission or that activation. There's ways that we can be more in relationship with ourselves, and the guidance at the right point is not so much a teaching you can read in the book until it starts to align with experiences you gained. It's much more the guidance that's meeting in trust and trying new things. So it's never somebody able to teach you how to be whole. It's all that it can be is some coaching and guidance to try this or try this angle here. But nobody knows how to become whole as you. Nobody's done it before as you. So it's your process, and we've been used to finding books and teachers that could tell us. And now we're at the point where nobody can. Because we're at the point where we're becoming self-aware as this point in creation. And sometimes I just to take it outside of that, because there still is a feeling often that there's kind of a right way. But what if we were a tree? We would be as much being as we are as an individual. What if that tree became self-aware there? Well, it wouldn't look anything like us. It would be self-aware, stuck in the ground, with branches stuck out, wind blowing around. And I mean this honestly. That's where the awareness of whole beingness would come alive, in that form, in that glory.